So one of the ways that math appears in Mathbreakers is through zones. This is a multiples of 2 zone, which means that any number multiple of 2 will get taken to the center of the zone here. You can see on the ground there are some odd numbers. They're not being taken in because they're not a multiple of 2. But if you were to add 2 odd numbers together, it will become a multiple of 2 and get taken into the zone. And you can defeat enemies in this way. See, these are all odd numbered enemies, and if you add an odd number 5 to them, they will all become an even number, and thus a multiple of 2. Similarly, this is a multiples of 3 zone, and in here you can see there are some 8s. They're not a multiple of 3. If I add 5 to 8, they become 13, which is also not a multiple of 3. But if I add 10 to them, they become 18, which is a multiple of 3, and then they are affected by the zone and they get taken to the center. And in the final example, this is a multiples of 4 zone, and you'll notice these are 7s, they're not a multiple of 4, but if I take a 5 and I add 5 to 7, they become 12, which is a multiple of 4, and so they get taken into the center of the zone. Now notice that if I do it while I'm outside of the zone, it doesn't work. These 12s are not being affected because they're not inside of this line here. But if I take them inside the line, then when they become 12, they get taken into the zone. Another example of zones is the square zones, and here I'm going to use a conjunction of the multiply wave, which is this gadget here, and the square zone, which is this area here. And you notice these guys are 8s, so if I actually multiply 8s by 2, they'll become 16, which is a square number, and then they'll get eaten by the zone that they're already inside. So there we go, I multiplied them, they all turned into 16s, and now you can see the 16s are now stacked up on top of the other squares. Do one more. This is another square zone. These guys are -2. So in order to make that into a square number, I'm going to grab another -2 and multiply them, so they become 4. Now they're all 4s. You can see they joined the squares in the center there. So the last zone that I'm going to show you is the prime number zone. You can see here that these 20s are not prime, so they're not being affected by the zone. And you might think, well, I can add 3 to 20 and get 23, and that would work. So here I'm going to try to add 3. But you see that doesn't actually work because 3 itself is prime, and so you're not able to use the 3 to add to the 20. You can add 9 though, because 9 is not prime. But if you add 20 and 9 together, you get 29, which is prime. And now the 29s are taken into the center of the zone, and they join the other prime numbers here at the center.